Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Bonachari Jamuna Tira Bonachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Bonachari Jamuna Tira Bonachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jai Om Vishpat Paramahamsa Parivraj Turasa Srimad Abhay Chananda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Shri Vrindam Shri Mathura Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadip Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mahi Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Sangha Veda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled. Glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Glories to Sri Prabhupada. Morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 13, entitled The Dynasty of Maharaj Nimi, text number 10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Deham navarurutsteham. Deham navarutseham. Dukha shoka bhayavaham. Dukha shoka bhayavaham. Sarvatrasya yato mrityu. Savartrasya yato mritu. Matsyana mudake yatam. Matsyana mudake yatam. Deham navarurutsteham. Dukha shoka bhayavaham. Savartrasya yato mrityu. Matsyana mudake yatam. Deham navarurutsheham. Dukha shoka bhayavaham. Sarvatrasya yato mrityu. Matsyana mudake yata. Deham navarurutsheham. Dukha shoka bhayavaham. Mataji.
Do
Deham, a material body. Na, not. Avarurutste, desire to accept. Aham, I. Dukkha shoka bhaya avalam, abham, which is the cause of all kinds of distress, lamentation, and fear. Sarvatra, always and everywhere, within this universe. Asya, of the living entities who have accepted material bodies. Yataha, because mrityu, death, matsyanam, of the fish, udake, living within the water, yatha, like. Translation: I do not wish to accept a material body, for such a body is a source of distress, lamentation, and fear everywhere in the material universe, just as it is for a fish in the water, which lives always in anxiety because of fear of death. Please repeat. I do not wish to accept a material body. For such a body is the source of all distress, lamentation, and fear everywhere in the universe. Just as it is for a fish in the water, which lives always in anxiety because of fear of death. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The material body, whether in the higher or lower planetary systems, is destined to die. In the lower planetary systems or lower species of life, one may die soon, and in the higher planets or higher species, one may live for a long, long time, but death is inevitable. This fact should be understood. In the human form of life, one should take the opportunity to put an end to birth, death, old age, and disease by performing tapasya. This is the aim of human civilization, to stop the repetition of birth and death, which is called mritya samsara vartmani. This can be done only when one is Krishna conscious or has achieved the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. Otherwise, one must rot in this material world and accept a material body subject to birth, death, old age, and disease. The example given here is that water is a very nice place for a fish, but the fish is never free from anxiety about death, since big fish are always eager to eat the small fish. Falguni tatra mahatam. All living entities are eaten by bigger living entities. This is the way of material nature. Hastani shahastanam abadhani chatuspadam falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. Quote, those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. Those devoid of legs are prey for the four-legged. The weak are the subsistence of the strong, and the general rule holds that one living being is food for another. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse 47. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has created the material world in such a way that one living entity is food for another, Thus, there is a struggle for existence. But although we speak of survival of the fittest, no one can escape death without becoming a devotee of the Lord. Harim vina naiva shmitim taranti. One cannot escape the cycle of birth and death without becoming a devotee. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.3. Aprapyamam nivartante mrityu samsarvatmani. One who does not attain the shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna must certainly wander up and down within the cycle of birth and death. In the purport. Om Gyanam Tanandasya Gyanan Gyanan Salakaya Chakshur Mijamna Tashma Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutare Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Shandavari Vasaritarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Translation again. I do not wish to accept a material body, for such a body is the source of all distress, lamentation and fear everywhere in the universe, just as it is for a fish in the water, which lives always in anxiety because of fear of death. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the material world. So that is why we say, Krishna says, is Dukkalaya, his creation, Dukkalaya, Sashritam, it's temporary, it's full of miseries. But the conditioned souls here are determined to straighten the material world out and make it a nice, happy place to live. This is the desire. Everyone wants this desire. But unfortunately, it is not to be. There are better places than this. Obviously, if you go to the Shvagaloka, the upper planetary system, there's no problems. Minimum. But if you want to go there, you've got to pay the price. You have to be very pious to go there. And piety means here, as far as the conditioned soul is concerned, it's tapasya. That is tapasya. To be pious means to follow rules, follow some higher authority. I mean, the authority like the saintly persons or the scripture. So that entails restriction. But we really don't like restriction. We prefer no restriction, right? We'd like to be free, man, to do what we like. But because we're thinking, that's a big problem, we're thinking that the material world is actually a place of enjoyment. It's very difficult to shake this thing off because of the terrible false ego, which is the first covering. So everything is coming through this conception. Your consciousness first comes through the false ego. Then first comes through a covering of forgetfulness, which Krishna gives. Then you forget who you are, you forget the eternal servant of Krishna, and so then you make your own identity. And first thing you perceive is your body, so I am this body, and what country I was born in, that's my nationality, what culture my parents followed, that is my culture, and this is my religion, and then we build an identity like that. But it's only for one birth, only for a little while, and then you change and you get a new ID tag, a new body, the great weight, or what calls the body. So you go from one to another, hoping, dreaming, making an endeavor to make everything nice, future nice. Most people are living in the future. That's our conditioning. Because at the moment we're not satisfied, right? Is anyone really satisfied now? Couldn't improve your condition, you don't want anything? Not many. So it's like that, because it is an uncomfortable position for the spirit soul in the material world. It's not comfortable. Where's the sat? Where's the peace? Where's the chit? Where is the enlightenment? Where is the ananda? Where is the bliss? That's our nature. We're not experiencing. So therefore we're not satisfied. So because we're not satisfied, because we're not Atmarama, then we have to take shelter of something or someone. That's it. You have to do that. We're incapable ourselves, so therefore we take shelter. Living entity has to take shelter. It has to come under the jurisdiction of the internal energy or the external energy. There's no third option while you're conscious. So here in the material world, because the living entities desire, have a different desire than what the Lord desires in the spiritual world. So it's created this playground for us to try to fulfill our desires, to act independently of the Lord. But Krishna has a sense of humor, because it's not possible, because we're different from this material energy. We're a different substance, with nothing to do with the material energy. But still, because Krishna's removed that forgetfulness, he's removed that knowledge. From me come remembrance, forgetfulness, knowledge. Krishna says all these things, they're his energies. So he gives and he takes, as according to his desire. The story here, this is Maharaj Nimi is speaking. He was the Maharaj, emperor, I guess. He was a big person. Then he was cursed. There's always something, even amongst even the sages here, they're cursing. Was it Vasishta? So even they get into trouble. Even the best of the humans, the sages, they get into trouble. He cursed Maharaj Nimi that you'll fall down. Maharaj Nimi was powerful. He cursed the sage also. They both died. So there's always trouble, always, right? Even if you're Vasishta, who's one of the major sages in the universe. And then he was born again, Vasishta, through unconventional means, but and then they were performing the yajna. So they preserved Maharaj Nimi's body in oils, preserving oils. They kept his body intact. This is the end of Satyuga. So then all the other saints and that, they said, Nimai was a good person, a great king. So they asked the demigods, because that time the demigods will also come present to accept their share of the sacrifices. That's the time when the Yajna, the fire worship, was started at the end of Satyuga, Treta Yuga. And the demigods used to accept their shares of oblations. So when you worship the demigods, when you propitiate the demigods, then that keeps them up in their position. So they are obliged to do that, because they are supplying, as Krishna says, the necessities of life. So you worship the demigods, that they, being pleased, will bestow upon you all desirable things, right? Bhagavad Gita. And you can live happily ever after by worshipping the demigods. You worship them. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, they say. So you worship them according to the rule, and they will give you facility. But of course, you can't keep the facility for a certain period of time. Eventually it's taken away. It's the nature of the place. So these sages, they said to the demigods, you are pleased with us, can you do us a favor? Can you bring King Nimai back into his body? They said, we can do that. So then they called Maharaj Nimai back. Don't know where he was, doesn't mention here. But they called him back. You please come back in the body and continue your service. And Nimai said, no way. Please don't imprison me again in a material body. Right? We're thinking an emperor, what a position, right? Nice position, yeah. A lot of freedom, a lot of facility. He's saying, no, don't imprison me. For us, it's a great release to be an emperor, right? All your desires can be fulfilled. He's saying it's a prison. He's saying, and the previous shloka, he says generally the Mayavadis, they want freedom from accepting a material body because they fear giving the material body up. Once you have a body, you have to give it up, and that's painful. We don't like it. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants to die, practically speaking. And it's a really, really suffering at that time. Right? Everyone wants, even you're 99 years old, you still want to stay alive. Right? What are you going to do at 99? What can you do? Still you don't want to go. Right? Use this old body like a dried up apple. Can't do anything. No, still trying to hang on and stay in there. Yeah, so powerful, Krishna's. So he said, so that's why they want freedom. The Mayavadis, they just switch the material world off. They just check out of the material world. They don't care where they go. Even nowhere is better than this. So that's Mayavadi philosophy, spiritual suicide. Right? Because if you go to the Brahman, that's nowhere. Where's the Brahman? Right? Brahma's everywhere, right? All pervading. So everywhere means nowhere. Right? It's not okay. So then they're nowhere, and they have no identity of their self. It's just experiencing sat, just experiencing existence, free float. Nice, no problems, no bad vibes, but nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to say, no one to talk to, right? Nothing to achieve. Horrible. You get bored stiff after 1 hour in the Brahman, and after 2 hours you'll be crying, get me out of here. In fact, they've tried it, they've tested it. It's simulated Brahman. They've done these experiments, people are screaming, get me out, get me out. Yeah, he says, but Minima is saying that devotees whose intelligence is always filled with the service of the Lord are unafraid. Indeed, they take advantage of the body to render transcendental service. But don't ask me to come to your body. So devotees are different. They don't care. Even in the body, they'll use it for devotional service. But don't ask me to take another one. I do not wish to accept a material body, for such a body is the source of all distress, lamentation, and fear. Everywhere in the universe, just as it is for a fish in the water, which lives always in anxiety because of fear of death. You've seen that poster, or sometimes a t-shirt. There's a little fish, right, swimming along, and behind him there's a bigger fish with his mouth open. Just about right behind him. And behind that fish there's a bigger fish with a bigger mouth. One living entity is proof, and jivo jivasya jivanam. That's a general rule, that everyone is living at the cost of somebody else. We stay alive by taking other lives. Here, this shloka is called the jivo jivasya jivanam. It's those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. Humans have hands. They dominate all the others. Those devoid of legs, that's plants. They're food for the four-legged, the animals, the grazing animals. The weak are the substance of the strong. The general rule that holds one living entity is food for another. So everyone has to eat, right? Every 8 hours you have to eat. At least 12 hours. At least 24 minimum. So you got to kill someone. Right? To stay alive, you got to kill somebody, something, plant. Everyone's eating something. So this is This is what the material world actually is. Because we don't have any great predators. We don't live in the jungle. We've established a society. There's not many predators for the human beings. But still, eventually someone's going to eat us, right? The fire will enjoy us, the body, or the worms if we bury it, or the animals, the eagles, if you. Something's going to enjoy the body, right? Fish. So you can't stop. This is Krishna's sense of humor. You want to have a program. You want to try and make your own program. Just to correct that mentality, I'll drop you in my material playground for a little while. I've created it just for you guys. Krishna doesn't need it. It's just for you people, so that you can try and show your independence. And when you get tired of banging your head on the brick wall, when you've had enough, then you say, God help me. Then, okay, now they're getting smart. Then you start to give some information from this. So therefore he's waiting for us. He hasn't stopped loving us. We stopped loving him. And he's waiting for us to return that original relationship that we have with him, that loving relationship we have with him. That was Krishna was. That's his. Although actually, in one sense, he doesn't need us because he has billions and billions and billions of living entities in the spiritual world. There's billions here, but there's billions and billions that all have a loving relationship with him. So he's not going to miss a handful in the material world. But then again, he does. He's compassionate. Yeah. They're my lovers. So he hasn't stopped loving us. So therefore, he waits. He comes as a super soul, and he comes other ways through the sound vibration of his holy name, or through the deity to reciprocate, and in the form of his devotees also he appears. So it says one cannot escape the cycle of birth and death without becoming a devotee. Bhagavad Gita, one who does not attain the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna must certainly wander up and down within the cycle of birth and death. There's nothing but Krishna, actually. Aham Savasya Prabhu, I am the everything. Everything is coming from me, Krishna says. Both the spiritual and the material energies are coming from Krishna. And we have to take shelter of one or another. We're not Atmarama. We need assistance. We need to take shelter somewhere to feel fulfilled. So there's a choice. You can take shelter of the external energy, Mahamaya, or you can take shelter of the internal energy, Yogamaya, Radharani. Whichever one you face, Radha or Durga, they're both incredibly attractive. The whole world is attracted to Durga. Everyone, human beings, must be all attractive. You see the expansion of Radharani in the material world. So she's all attractive. Maya is all attractive, and Radha is all attractive. So whichever one you're focusing on, you'll get, it's great. But the result is different. If you focus on Maya Devi, then you'll stay in the material world. The result will be temporary. If you focus on the internal energy Radha, then you can go back to the spiritual world in your original form, in your original constitutional nature. So that is the freedom, free will. This is a real free will. Which choice will you make? You choose to serve Krishna or you choose to serve Maya? That's your independence. That's your really only freedom. And then you make a choice, and within that you have some little bit more freedom in each one. But not much. But it's so Krishna's not being, when Krishna's not puffed up when he says these things, Because one person I was speaking to, I was saying Krishna said we should surrender. He said, Savadaman Pritidya Mamikam, surrender unto me. He said, yes, that's another thing. Why is Krishna so selfish? Why Mamikam? Why me alone, no one else? And why is he so selfish? So many others, gods, and but he's not. That's the actual position. He is that. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. Everything is meant for his pleasure. Everyone is meant for his pleasure. It's his creation, right? The purpose of existence is pleasure. Krishna expands, why? For pleasure. Everything he does is for pleasure. But he doesn't take pleasure in the material energy. That's separated. He puts us there, those who think that they can be separate from Krishna, be happy without Krishna. He puts those people there. But it's his creation. It's his creation. It's his earth, it's his water, it's his fire, it's his air, it's his sky, it's his mind, it's his intelligence, it's his ahankara, it's his ability, it's his remembrance, it's his forgetfulness, it's his knowledge, it's all his stuff. Everything is his. There's nothing but Krishna. But we have our individuality, and so that there can be variation in and love. There can be love, and there can be pastimes, activities, love and exchanges. So therefore, their independence is there also. But how will you lose that independence? So if you can't, Krishna recommends you directly surrender to me. Hogya, you don't have to do anything else. But if you can't do that, or you don't want to do that, or both, it's like we want to do it, we can't, right? We want to surrender to Krishna, but we can't, for some reason. Right? Isn't it? We've all got we got our own reasons, but the reasons are that what do we have to surrender? It means, Krishna, we want to give up our attachment to Maya. We're not willing to do it. We don't have enough faith in Krishna. We don't have enough sukriti. We don't have that conviction. We don't have that taste. So therefore we're still hanging on to the remembrance of the comfort and pleasure that Maya is offering. Even it's temporary. Even we know that. Even we know it's not really satisfying. It's something. Something's better than nothing. So until you actually get the higher taste, you can't actually be indifferent to Maya. But at least you can desist from, I think we were reading yesterday in the Bhagavad Gita, that one can restrain the senses from the objects, but the desire is still there. But by constant practice and determination, you can overcome that. Desire doesn't go away. The growth is not so difficult to control, to throw the body here and there. But the mind is very subtle. It's next to the soul, practically. It's the mind is the actual hub, because that's where all the bhava is, all the emotions are. Thinking, feeling, and willing. They're in the mind. This is the central part. But that's difficult because it's feelings. The feelings are there. So we have a feeling for Maya, right? For certain aspects of material life, we have a feeling. We feel good in that situation. We feel excited in that situation. We feel satisfied in that situation. And if we don't have that, what do we have? So therefore the attachment is there. So that's what we're not surrendering. That's why we're not surrendering to Krishna. That's why we're not pure unalloyed devotees. So problems, Krishna gives. If you can't surrender to me, then do something else. That means you can follow the path of karma. Then you can achieve your satisfaction of your senses in a gross way like that. And at least you'll get what you get. At least you'll stay progressive. At least you'll stay in a human form of life if you follow this religious principle of karma yoga. And you're more likely because to meet a saintly person if you live that kind of lifestyle, a religious lifestyle, which is a real benediction. Or if you want to practice, if you're tired of the material world, then you practice this gyan. You can do that. And that will give you relief. You're fed up trying to enjoy. It means previous births, you've done it, you've been a karma, you've had enough. You want to check out, okay? And then you do this, you can get your peace. You can become free from the influence of the modes, the gross influence of the modes of nature. Then you can enjoy that peace. Or if you want to have a little control over the material energy, then you practice this Ashtanga yoga. Then you can control it to some degree, right? You can create things, and money ma, lagi ma. You can do some extraordinary things. You can have some control, a lot more control than others. So while you're playing with these, enjoying these things, and feeling you're going to get something from these things, at least you're progressive. At least you're staying in a human form of life. You don't go down to animal. And like I say, you're more likely to, and there'll be a lot of purification. There'll be some spiritual purification within that lifestyle, because you're following the scripture. You're following the path of karma, jnana, yoga. There's going to be some Brahman there. If you're following karma, to perform the ritual, he's going to chant Om or Vishnu. That's spiritual. That will stick. There'll be some. He worship the shalagram. There'll be some prasadam. That will stay. So then you'll get some sukriti. You'll stay in a human form of life, and you'll get some sukriti along with that piety. Till eventually, Krishna says, Bahunam, many births, after many births of being liberated, again, then you actually have to come to that platform. But the path of bhakti is direct, immediately. You can take shelter there. So that's what Krishna recommends. If you can't do that, just to stay safe, you be a religious person. If you can't do that, give some charity. Can't do that. Recommendations are there. So this is our unfortunate situation. So it says, but only by without becoming a devotee, one cannot escape the cycle of birth and death. You're bound to, if you don't have the shelter of Krishna, you'll certainly wander up and down within the cycle of birth and death. There's no option. If you're not with Krishna, where will you be? You'll be with Maya. Mukti, bhukti, siddhi, karmi, shakliya, shanti. No one is peaceful. Those who want material enjoyment, those who want siddhi, mystic powers, or those who want liberation, none of them are peaceful. They all want something. They're all dissatisfied. They all want something until they achieve the perfection of that which culminates ultimately in bhakti. So as Krishna, it's only by surrendering at the lotus feet of Krishna one can actually be free. It's Krishna's idea, this material universe. He put us here. Eh? He covered us. He took away the remembrance. He covered us with avidya, ignorance. So who else can give it back? Who else can give that knowledge? Who else can take that covering off? He gave it, no one else. So only He can actually remove that covering. Only He can give the knowledge. I give the understanding by which you can come to me. Those who serve me with love and devotion, that's the secret. To those people, then I give that knowledge by which they can come back to me. So that's a prerequisite. That's what we expected to do, learn to love Krishna. Then He will give it. Otherwise, unless He empowers someone else to do it for Him, He can do that. But otherwise it's Him. So it's Him actually alone. He's doing everything. So he can do it directly, or He can do it through the agency of His deputies, demigods, devotees, etc. That's how He works. But we should be clear that it's the ultimate destination is service to Krishna's lotus feet. That's the actual only shelter. There's no other shelter because everything is constantly changing. The atoms, the material world, just constantly changing and fluxing. And we look. That's what it is. It's a mass of atoms, right? Material world. Atoms, light, sound. That's all everything according to modern science and according to ancient science. It's just a combination of atoms. Everything is different densities of atoms. So on the whole, everything is just all these atoms moving and with lights and sounds and smells and then you're passing through that. The pure soul is passing through this kaleidoscope of atoms, expecting to be happy and peaceful. Nothing to do with it. You're looking for a peaceful place within that, but it's constantly fluxing and changing and moving, and you can force to take one body after another, and 14 planetary systems. So that's it. Someone has to wake us up from the illusion that what we're looking for isn't actually there. But we're so dull, the ears are so blocked up, the brain is so dull that it takes so long to appreciate that and actually become intelligent enough and empowered enough to actually actually surrender to Krishna. So this lifetime or another, next lifetime or the next or the next or the next, you have to come to this point. So why delay? Why put off till tomorrow what can be done today? Why should we remain in the ocean of material life? So that's why Nimai, he didn't want to come back. Although he was a devotee, it's dangerous, always risky, and anything can happen. And we have the examples of anything happening. The rishis, Vasishtha, all the rishis, most of them, they get into some kind of trouble. All the demigods, they have their problems. So that's why. So he doesn't want to come back, and he's a rishi. He's one of the main rishis in the universe. He doesn't want to come back. But what to speak of us? We have nothing here. What facility we have is peanuts. Still, we don't want to sacrifice it. So therefore, Nimai has got his mention in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Great soul. Maharaj Nimai ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Gaur. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. 我有一个问题，就是这个经典里边说到是圣人，是说像 Gyani 还有那个 Yogi 们可以称为是圣人，就是奉献者和圣人还是有区别的，是可以这样理解。另外一个就是，如果我们现在是在修习 Krishna 自觉，也现在有一些原来没有那个灵性的知识，现在刚刚有一些灵性的知识，但是我们没有奉爱，这样算不算那个 Gyani？ 就是像有点像那个知识的那种思辨的，因为很多人原来没有灵性的知识，现在我们刚刚有，我们就会用灵性的知识去评判其他人或事情，但是自己却对自己却不知道。
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your class. So my question is, you mentioned a lot of rishis, so they are considered the saintly people in this universe. But I want to know if a devotee is also considered a saintly person. And there's a second question, is before I don't have any knowledge. Now I have some knowledge and I start to practice this devotional service. But since I don't have devotion, so do you think I am belonging to the category of a Gyani? Because I only have knowledge and I don't have devotion.
Yeah, we are considered, we practice in Vaidhi, sadhana, bhakti. It's an attempt to serve Krishna, it's an attempt to love Krishna. You can't practice love. You're either, Prabhupada said in the Nectar Devotion, actually there's no such thing as the practice of Krishna consciousness. Either you're Krishna conscious or you're not. Something you can't practice is spontaneous love. That's pure bhakti. But this is what we want, this is what we're told we should be, this is what we're told we actually are. So we're trying to attain that position again. So the process is to, by staying in contact with Krishna, especially by chanting his holy name, that will purify us. That will get rid of this ignorance. So our position is in Vaidhi sadhana, we follow these rules as strictly as possible so that they will always keep us in contact with Krishna by chanting, by hearing, by reading, by associating with devotees, by taking prasadam. And that will purify us. Because when we're purified, then what is left? We are the Nitya Krishna. What is it? Nitya Siddha Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. This is it. This is you're an eternal lover of Krishna. There's a temporary pause in eternity while we're in the material world. But actually we're lovers of Krishna. But we've forgotten that. So that forgetfulness was given by Krishna. And so he can remove it. And he will remove it. How he removes it is by bringing us closer to him. When the sun is shining, that will purify bad places, impure places. Right? So we come into the sun of Krishna, so we have to keep in the sunshine of Krishna. And how we stay there is by hearing, chanting, remembering, Shravanam, Kirtan, Vishnu Smaran, Mahasanam, Bandham, these 9 devotional processes. So we're called devotees, but we're mixed devotees. We're not pure unalloyed devotees, because we still have that desire for our comfort and our pleasure, for personally. So that's why we're going to Krishna. We're not going to Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. Mixed, by intelligence we are, but by heart we're thinking of our own interest. So that won't go away until you actually experience in Krishna consciousness proper. So that will begin at of course you get a little taste even as a new bhakta, but that will begin at the platform of nishta. You'll start then you become steady, and you'll be able to experience Krishna's energy in different ways. But that will bring that will be the beginning of your satisfaction and peace. So then you can be a little bit relaxed with Maya and not so interested. That's the first stage. But still, up until the stage of ashakti, then the interest is for myself. So it's still not pure, but ashakti, it's pure. When there's great attachment for Krishna, if there's attachment, that means there must be love there. There must be affection. So then it really dynamic at that the real pure bhakti starts from there. But it's bhakti all the way through. Prabhupada gives the example of the green mango and the ripe mango. Right? They're both mangoes. You have a green mango, you pick it, but you put it in a nice dark place and cover it with newspaper or something. There's a question of time, and it becomes a ripe mango. But they're both the green mango and the ripe mango, they're both mangoes. So sadhana bhakti and bhava bhakti, or prema bhakti, is all bhakti, but one is mature and one is immature. So we need more time. We need more spiritual association to ripen us. So our sincerity means that you stay in within the realm of those 9 devotional processes, associating with the pure devotees and not neglecting the orders of becoming enthusiastic to perform devotional service, to go back to Godhead, to love Krishna. That's the process. That's the process that Krishna has given for those that don't have any taste for Him. So then He's appealing to our intelligence. You are suffering in the material world. This is why you're suffering, and we can see it's a fact. So He's opening our eyes to the. And then He says, "Now this is what to do." And then He sent His devotee to tell us what to do and guide us through. I forgot the first question. Oh, if you're a Gyani or a Bhaktin. Typically, commonly we use the word Gyani, whose main focus in life is to get free from this cycle of birth and death, get free from the modes of nature. They're considered Gyanis. They spend a major portion of their time in that area. Right? Okay, anything else? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Mayapur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo.